Living with ADHD often feels like being stuck in a whirlwind of emotions, self doubt, and external criticism and internal criticism. So, for many, this whirlwind is exacerbated by the gaslighting from society and even from within ourselves, often within ourselves, which we'll get into in another video. So, understanding the dynamics, though, is crucial to navigating life with ADHD. So let's explore how society and self-gaslighting affect those with ADHD and offer practical advice on managing those challenges. First, let's look at the reality of societal gaslighting. So society often gaslights individuals with undiagnosed ADHD, making them question their abilities, worth, and even their sanity. So this societal gaslighting is pervasive and can have long-lasting effects on self-esteem and mental health. From a young age, many individuals with undiagnosed ADHD are told that their struggles are due to laziness, lack of effort, or poor discipline. How many times in your life have you heard things like, you need to try harder, or why can't you just focus? And it can really make you start to doubt your own experience. So this form of gaslighting, while subtle and maybe even meant in playful ways, really starts to force individuals to question their reality, which can lead to confusion and self-doubt. And society often dismisses the challenges faced by those with ADHD as mere excuses. So this invalidation can make individuals feel unheard and very misunderstood. And then there's a constant need to justify one's struggles, and this can be exhausting and damaging. And it only reinforces the belief that their difficulties and their struggles are not legitimate. And then we combine that with the internal battle of self-gaslighting, and we'll get deeper into this in another video, because beyond those societal influences, individuals with ADHD often engage in a lot of self-gaslighting, doubting their own experiences and feelings. And this internal struggle can be just as damaging, if not more, than the external invalidation. So we start blaming ourselves. Those with ADHD frequently blame themselves for their challenges, internalizing their negative feedback and believing they are inherently flawed. And this self-blame can create a cycle of shame and guilt where every mistake is seen as a personal failure. And then we also start to doubt our own achievements. So even when these successes do occur, individuals with ADHD might attribute them to luck rather than their own abilities. And this imposter syndrome, which can be a bitch, can prevent them from recognizing and celebrating their accomplishments, perpetuating this sense of inadequacy. So while the impacts of societal and self-gaslighting are profound, there are strategies to combat these negative influences and build a more positive self-image. Number one is education and awareness. Educating oneself and others about ADHD is a powerful tool in combating gaslighting. Understanding that ADHD is a legitimate neurological condition can help invalidate the false narrative imposed by society. And we share accurate information, which can also help others become more supportive and hopefully less judgmental. You should also seek professional support if it's needed. Therapists and ADHD coaches can provide valuable guidance and validation. Professional support helps individuals develop strategies to manage ADHD symptoms and challenge those negative thought patterns. Working with neurodivergent affirming coaches or neurodivergent coaches who are actually neurodivergent themselves and have those lived experiences, like me, also goes a very long way for individuals with ADHD, autism, any of those neurodivergence. Because we come from that lens of and that perspective, we understand, we get it. We truly do get it. But so seeking these things out, or again, seeking professional therapy, look for, depending on what you need, I would recommend things like CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, or DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, depending. They can help in big ways. They might help in big ways. I guess the only way, and I know this sounds so trite, but the only way to know is to try or to seek out people who know these things. My caveat here, though, is not all therapy methods are going to be as effective for all people or even the therapist that you're working with. I had one therapist who used CBT and it was so harmful. And I would walk out of my sessions feeling like 1,000 times worse than when I did walking in. And it was just one of those things. It's like, therapy is not supposed to feel like this. Not all the time. And then later on in my life, I worked with a therapist who also used CBT, and it was like night and day, just the differences and how their approaches and stuff like that. So, again, if you feel like a therapist is doing more harm than good, be firm in yourself, be firm in your boundaries, and walk away, because that's not going to help anyone if you keep staying in that situation. So that's seeking professional support. Number 3 is to build a supportive community. So surrounding yourself with understanding and supportive individuals can make a significant difference. So whether you're joining an ADHD support group or finding friends who empathize with your experience with or without ADHD, a strong support network can provide the validation and encouragement that you need to counteract the gaslighting, internal and external. And finally, you want to practice self-compassion. And this is just learning to be kind to yourself. And this is absolutely essential. Acknowledge that mistakes are a natural part of life and not a reflection of your worth. And that can start to reduce some of the self-blame. So techniques like mindfulness and self-compassion exercises can help cultivate a more forgiving and positive self-view. Overcoming the effects of societal and self-gaslighting involves a journey towards self-acceptance and empowerment. So here are some more steps to foster a healthier relationship with yourself. Number 1, start reframing your negative thoughts. Challenge your negative self-talk by reframing your thoughts in a more positive light. So for example, instead of thinking, I can never get anything right, try, I'm doing my best, and it's okay to make mistakes. Celebrate your small wins. So recognize and celebrate even your smallest achievements. Each step forward, no matter how minor it may seem to either you or to someone else, is a victory worth acknowledging. This practice can help build confidence and restore a positive self-image. Number 3, set realistic goals. Setting achievable goals and breaking those tasks into manageable steps. By focusing on what can be accomplished rather than what seems overwhelming, individuals with ADHD can experience a sense of progress and accomplishment. If you want a 4th, I would suggest a daily gratitude practice. Find something to be thankful for every single day. It'll start to shift your world and your perspective bit by bit. So navigating self-doubt, shame, and gaslighting is a significant challenge for individuals with ADHD. Society's misconceptions and our own internal struggles can make life feel like an uphill battle or a never-ending roller coaster with endless loops, twists, turns, and downhills. But through education, professional support, community, and self-compassion, it's possible to combat those negative influences and build a more empowering narrative. Remember, acknowledging and validating your experience is the first step towards self-acceptance and resilience.